Hey everyone, what I've got here is the Amazon Fire Stick 4K, and what I'd like to do in this video is give you my review of it. This has actually been out for about 3 months, and because of that there's lots of reviews out there, there's lots of detailed written reviews and video reviews out there. But although I'm kind of late to the game, I still want to give you my opinion of it. I still want to give you a detailed review and tell you what I like and what I don't like. So what I wanted to do is just give a little bit of background as to what the Fire Stick is all about, and then look at the features, then do an unboxing, and then look at the interface, and then summarize my thoughts at the end. If you want to jump ahead to any part of the video, if for example you only want to see the unboxing, please do check the description area down below and you can see a timeline of this video. So Fire Stick 4K, first I want to talk about why I didn't buy this at launch, because it was released at a little bit of a lower price point, certainly within the first few weeks because of Black Friday. But I didn't buy it because, well, I didn't think that I needed it. And the reason being that I've got Amazon and Netflix and lots of other apps. I've got them built into my television. This is the remote control for my television downstairs, my LG television. Now, my LG television downstairs is quite a new television. I only bought it last year. It was a 2018 model. And I did have the original Fire Stick, which unfortunately I don't have right now for a comparison. And the reason I don't have the original Fire Stick, the first generation one, is because when I bought this television, I found that the apps on this, for Amazon and Netflix, etc., I found they were just as quick as the first generation Fire Stick. But it was probably in hindsight the wrong thing to do. Firstly, because the television app that I've got for Amazon, it doesn't allow me to install apps. And that's actually one of the best selling points of this, is that you can install apps on this, you can play games on this, you can do a lot on this that you can't do with the apps that are built into your television. But I did find as well with the television Amazon app is that when I've been using the PlayStation 4 Amazon Video app and then reverted back to the one on my television, it's quite sluggish in comparison. It's quite slow, it's quite unresponsive. That's just what happens. You will find that with a lot of apps built into the television. The televisions generally, well, most new ones have a quad-core processor, but because they're powering so many different things, sometimes the apps aren't as responsive as they would be in a dedicated streaming device, such as a Fire Stick 4K. You're never going to get the same experience with a built-in TV app as you will from hooking up your computer, your laptop, or using a dedicated streaming device. So Fire Stick 4K, and I'm going to summarize my thoughts at the end, like I said, but I will say that I believe this to be one of the best solutions on the market. If you're looking for a streaming device, you've got a lot of options. You can pick up an Android box, you can pick up a Roku device, you can pick up Apple TV, you've got the Google Chromecast there as well. So there's a lot of options out there, some of them more expensive than others. But I feel that Amazon with the Fire Stick, I feel that they've got most things right. It is by no means a perfect device. This does have some limitations and some annoyances that I wish they would resolve. But I would say that as an all-round device, and at the price that this is selling at, this is £50 in the UK, it's about the same in the USA, it's about $50. The non-4K version is only £10 cheaper. I would opt for this simply because it's not much of a price jump. But I think at the price point, you get a lot for your money. You get a lot for, the overall package is really good. You get access to all these apps. You get a really good remote control that has a voice remote, the Alexa voice remote. And I think that just the interface and everything works a little bit better than, say, Roku. I bought the Roku for my dad, and the interface was always quite slow, and I didn't like it. The Chromecast is quite limited in that you can only use it for streaming. But as I said, this isn't perfect. One of the things I don't like about it is because Amazon and Google are arguing like little children, you don't get the official YouTube app on it. And YouTube is one of the main apps that I use on my television. I use Netflix, I use Amazon Video, and I use YouTube. And YouTube isn't on here. Likewise, you should be able to, mirror to your Fire Stick, but you can't, there's no native support for it. But this is where apps come in. There are lots of other little ways around it. You can sideload apps from the Google Play Store. There's workarounds that you can load YouTube, not the official app, but there's ways around it that you can do it. And it's just a little bit annoying that it's not natively supported, because the way that the Chromecast works with your YouTube app is absolutely awesome. It's just so quick and so responsive. But it's one of those things. It's a little bit limited in some respects because of that. But I would say that the overall package is still fantastic. Let's jump over to the browser now. And this is the Amazon sales page. This is the UK website. As you can see, this is the one that I bought it from. And you can see there's a message here. This product only ships to the United Kingdom. That's because these things are geared towards a particular market. And you can see there that it's £50. But if you look up here, you can see the Fire Stick Compact and Portable, £40. Now, like I was saying there, it really is up to you. But I would say that for the difference in price for £10, I would go for the 4K version, even if you don't have a 4K television, because as you will see from the comparison table, which I'm about to show you, the 4K stick has got a slightly faster processor, which maybe isn't going to be a huge difference in speed when you're using it, but I just think it's going to future-proof you a little bit more, and you get a slightly faster processor. So you can see a lot of the features here if you scroll down. Enjoy brilliant picture with access to 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Vision HDR, HDR10 Plus support. That is amazing. Enjoy favourites from Prime Video, BBC, Netflix, ITV, Channel 4, Disney, Curzon, I've got no idea what that is, and others. Experience thousands of channels plus millions of websites such as YouTube, Facebook and Reddit. Now it's kind of strange that they're saying that because you have to use the browser to use it. To access YouTube there. It's kind of weird that they're advertising that when they don't have the support for the YouTube app. But there you go. So I'll just scroll down so you can see some of the main features here. I think that the fact that this supports HDR is pretty fantastic for the size of it. And you've got the all new voice remote. This wasn't in the older versions. But now you can push the button and you can see here, Alexa, play the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, whoever that is. So yeah, you can see a list of some of the apps here in the background. Firefox, STV, Plex, Netflix, Animal Kingdom. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. The content in Netflix is much better than Amazon Video, but you can access Netflix through this device. So it's kind of a moot point. Now, okay, here's the explanation. Right. Here's the table. Here's the table that I wanted to show you. So as I said, for £10, I feel that this is a worthy upgrade over the original, the 1080p Fire Stick. The reason being, I'm probably going to be using this 4K Fire Stick on my 1080p television upstairs, but I do like the option of bringing it down to my 4K television, and I also like the fact that this one has a 1.7 gigahertz quad-core processor as opposed to 1.3 gigahertz. I'm not saying this is a huge difference. But just from getting that slight performance boost and for getting support for all these additional features, I feel that it is worth the extra. And I think most people would, certainly when you consider that you'll be using this for years. So you've got all the technical details here as well. Quad-core 1.7 gigahertz. It's the GPU is IMG GE 8300. No idea what that is. It's got 8 gigabyte of internal storage, dual band Wi-Fi. You can buy an adapter though if you want to plug in your Ethernet cable directly. It's like another £10 or $10 or so to buy an Ethernet adapter which attaches to it. You've got that voice remote. You've got the HDMI output, micro USB for power, which they could have went with Type-C, but it's kind of irrelevant really. 4K support, Dolby Atmos 7.1 surround sound, etc. as well. And then you've got the output resolutions. Now, of course, you have to remember that a lot of the content that you see on your device, whether it be in Netflix or Amazon, it's not going to be at 4K. There's only certain content which is 4K, but this does support it. This does support 4K, 1080p and 720p at 60 frames per second, or up to 60 frames per second. And as I said, you can play games on this as well. There's lots of unique apps that you can install on this. A lot of interesting apps that you can install. And if you're into IPTV or streaming and all these other kind of things, it's up to you whether you use them or not. But they are there, and there's big support for you. There's a lot of support for those kind of apps. So, from a technical point of view, I think that for this device, I mean, if you just forget about the software, if you just forget about everything else like that, and you forget the fact that Amazon really do push their content, their premium content towards you, the device and the remote control and all that, it's a really good package. I think they've done well, from what they're doing here, what they've packaged together, the device, etc. I think it's a really good package from a technical point of view. And certainly from the fact that there's Android boxes that give you kind of similar performance, except they're a big, large box with a large adapter. And here you're getting it all in a little HDMI stick. So enough talk about the features, enough talk about why I bought this and why I like this. Let's unbox it and let's take a closer look at the device itself. So here is the Amazon Fire Stick 4K, and I will get it out its plastic bag for you guys. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but this is how I'm doing it. So this is the box, and I mean, you kind of saw from the website there, from the sales page, that you've got all these different apps, but you can see this in the box as well: Firefox, Netflix, etc. I thought it was quite unique there, quite curious that they decided to promote the fact that you can do YouTube through the browser on this. Quite funny. So here you've got what's included. You've got the Amazon Fire Stick itself, you've got the voice remote control, 2 AAA batteries. You actually get a power adapter. Now that's pretty good because it's becoming quite common not to include a USB plug, a USB power adapter. You've got the USB cable and you have an HDMI extender cable, and that's very useful for anyone who has got a television against the wall. It means that you can dangle the extender cable down and then plug this into it, so that's really cool. What's needed: high-speed internet with Wi-Fi, HDTV, or 4K HDTV with HDMI input. And yeah, we've got some more explanations in the back here. Quad-core processor, etc., voice remotes, there's all the selling points there, and then you've got more details at the side there. Alexa, 4K Ultra HD, high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, Atmos, quad-core, Wi-Fi, AC, 802.11 AC. So here we've got the package here. Quite nice how that opened up here. I mean, the presentation here is really good. Right, where do I start? Okay, so I'll actually zoom out a little bit just so that you can see everything that's here. It's kind of quite a unique box that they've got here. So we've got the remote control down here, much longer than the original version. And unfortunately, I don't have the original remote to show you, but the original one was about that size, I believe. It's a lot longer now. You've got some more buttons on there. Mute, volume, play, pause, fast forward, return, home button. That's like the menu button. You've got power. You've got the Alexa button up there. You've got a jog dial. And you've got the mic at the top, I believe that is. Then you've got the Fire Stick itself. And this thing is a lot bigger than the old version, but it's packing more things into it. Behind here, you should be able to see that there. You've got the plug. If there's a better way to get that out, but there we go. We've got the batteries in here. Even the batteries are all packaged up in a nice little thing. I must admit, the presentation here is really, really impressive. So down at the bottom here, we've got more cables, and that's everything. Really nice presentation. So now you've got all the nice presentation out the way. What do you get in this magnificent box? Well, you get the USB power cable. This is micro B. We'll zoom in a little bit here. So this is a micro B power cable, and it will go into this. Now, I believe that you should use this rather than plugging this directly into your television, because I believe it requires more power now. You can always try. Just in case your television might provide enough current. This is the HDMI extender, and if I get this open, I can show you how this works. So here is the HDMI Fire Stick 4K, and you know, the extender works in a very simple way. You plug it in. Have I got this the right way? Have I? Believe so. There we go. So this, if you've got your television against the wall, you might want to use this to connect so that this dangles down, because this is, you know, this will stick out quite a big bit at the back, because it is quite large. In comparison to my phone, you can see, you know, for an HDMI streaming device, it's quite a large stick. But, you know, this is quite a powerful little machine, certainly more powerful than the previous Fire Sticks. And the idea is that, you know, you power it like this at the side. So you need to power this with the power adapter. You need to put these batteries into the remote control, of course. And then you connect it to your television or your monitor or wherever you want to connect it. So I just want to give you a closer look at the actual setup here. I think the remote control looks great now. I think, I mean, it's kind of just building upon what was there before. I used this for years. I had the original version. I was always happy with it, but they've got more buttons now. They've got that Alexa voice search there as well. And the Fire Stick now is a big beast. It's an absolute beast. It's huge. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I just want to quickly, I just want to quickly show you the manual, etc. The manual looks pretty good as far as what it shows you. This is an explanation about what the next generation Alexa voice remote is, which is good. It's giving you examples of how you can use it. And I've got the just product information, so that's just the kind of warnings about it, how to use it, electricity wise and all that. Before I go, I just want to quickly put the batteries in. So for the benefit of those who do buy this and you do need to put in the batteries, this little indent there looks like it's, kind of like the back of a phone where you push it down to slide it back. But I think that's more just for grip, and it's much easier to just get a nail in there. Get a nail in there and pop it open. And that will be a lot easier. And you can see the battery positions there. So it should be okay like that. So just looking at the overall package here, I'm very, very impressed. I think Amazon have given you every single thing that you need. I think that the overall presentation, the way that it's all packaged together, maybe you think that's pointless, but I think it was done really well. And what you get in the box is a user manual. You get a manual that explains how the Alexa voice remote works. You get the kind of electrical information little manual. You get an HDMI extender. You get the USB cable and the USB adapter to power it. You get the large voice remote with Alexa, and it's now powered on. And you get the Fire Stick itself, and it's got the power port at the side there. So you can see it there, HDMI. Fairly simple device. It's quite big compared to older versions of it, and certainly compared to like the original Chromecast, etc. But yeah, looks good. It's a powerful little device. So what I'd like to do at this point is put this in and show you what the interface is like and show you what you actually get if you buy the Fire Stick 4K. So this is the Amazon Fire Stick 4K. I've got it plugged into the back of my 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. I was hoping to capture the interface here using my Elgato and this HDMI splitter, but this doesn't bypass HDCP, so you're going to have to see it like this. But it should be okay. You should be able to see how this works, and I can actually show you the remote a little bit easier in this respect as well. Now, yeah, I mean, if you've used Amazon Video before, I'm sure you've used the app before on perhaps your phone or your tablet or perhaps a PlayStation or Xbox. You know what this is all about. But what I will say is, someone who had the original Fire Stick, this is a lot quicker. I mean, a lot quicker. Even just, navigating all the menus. I mean, look how quick I can go through and get to the menus, get to all the different settings and different menu items and all that here. Very, very quick. And you can see when I'm going back here as well, it is very, very quick. Performance is fantastic. Now, of course, I'm comparing this to the original Fire Stick, and I'm also comparing it to the performance in my television. But first impressions are that this is a little bit quicker than on my PlayStation 4 as well. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed by how this is working here. So yeah, overall, very, very, very pleased with it. Now, one of the new selling points, of course, is the new Alexa remote. So I'm going to try this out. Alexa, play The Office.
I can play that on Prime Video, or find it on Fire TV. Which would you like?
Prime Video.
Here's what I found.
You know Amazon are doing something right when they can understand someone from Scotland. So yeah, it worked out okay there. I would prefer if they just defaulted to Prime Video. I'm not sure if that's an option where it just defaults to Amazon Video, but it does work. It does work. Now, I'm not professing to be the biggest fan of Alexa, not that I dislike it, I just don't use it that much. I installed it on my phone, I just find that I don't use it that much, but I think I'll use it more now that it's on the remote control here. Now, as far as apps go, and as I said, apps are really what distinguish this from other devices. There is a fantastic selection, and you can even just see at the top here under Spotlight, you've got Sega there as well, and then you've got Spotify audio apps and all that kind of thing. So the selection here, it really is fantastic. You've got like sport apps there, casino games. I don't know why they're focusing on that. Recommended for you, Netflix. This is the app that I'm sure most people will be installing, but you'll find things like VLC, you'll find Plex in here as well. You can see there's a downloader there, and there's Plex, which is really good for managing movies. But you see a lot of casting ones as well. So there's Cast, All Connect, Receiver. Most of these apps are trying to address the problem of having movie files on your phone or tablet, or even streaming YouTube. And you can install these apps on your phone or tablet, and then you can cast it to the Fire Stick. Now, I don't want to spend all day looking at the different apps here, but you can see that there's a lot there. There's a lot of games here as well. You can hook up controllers to this as well. I think Bluetooth controllers can connect to this. So yeah, I like the idea of this, and I do like the idea of playing retro games on this as well. I know a lot of people are using the Fire Stick to install retro games, retro gaming systems on it. But for me, it's mainly going to be for Amazon Video, for Netflix, and hopefully, if I find a workaround, and I will be sure to share it with you guys, but hopefully I'd like to play around with YouTube on this as well. And yeah, I mean, I think this works really, really well. Now, for the benefit of anyone who's never used this before, the volume control isn't going to work here because this is my monitor, but it does work on my television. But you've got play and pause and all that there. This is the back button, and if you go away, this will bring you back to home. And this is the menu button. You use this a lot as well. So when you go to an app, you can select the menu button, and then you'll see different options for it. So, depending where you are, different options will come up. If you're in the settings area, it will come up with options to uninstall and things like that. But you can see here it's got an option for me to move it, because you can move the applications around. Now, when you install an app, it adds your recent tab at the top, and you can move them around using that. So yeah, works really well. This up and down navigation system here, it's not like a circular thing. You can't go around it like that. It's a clicky device, up, down, left, right, and then you can push the middle to select like that. But the control works really good. It's really light as well, and as you saw, Alexa seems to work out okay as well. Now, as I said, I'll be using this either downstairs on my main television or in my bedroom. I suspect most people are using it like that. But you could, and I'm going to show you this, because some people will use it like this. If you're like me, you're working at your computer all day, you could use this just for picture-in-picture. Now, of course, you could use this, you just use your browser and your computer, but you do have that option. So I'm going to put this in picture-in-picture. You'll see the audio being recorded because I am recording from my computer right now. But see, now I've got it there, picture-in-picture. It's not showing my computer on the other side, but the idea is that you can put your computer on one side and you can put this to one part of the screen. It's something you can do in most modern televisions as well. So you could be watching something on something else, and in the corner here you could have something completely different. I don't know why it isn't showing my computer there. I don't know why. But yeah, it works really well. I'm fairly impressed with the remote control, and I'm fairly impressed with the speed. Now, of course, over time, if you install a lot of apps, maybe it'll get a little bit sluggish. I don't know. But if you don't fill it up with too many things, I don't think you're ever going to have a problem with this. A quad-core 1.7 gigahertz processor is pretty good for this kind of device. And yeah, what more do you need? Really, really good. So what I will do, I'm going to be setting this up myself over the next few days and installing apps. And I like to do a follow-up video and show you apps that I like and different things that go around the limitations of the Fire Stick. But what I would say is that the interface is really good, the remote control is really good, and Alexa seems to work really well as well. So overall, I am very impressed. My first impressions are very positive of the Fire Stick 4K. So I now have the Fire Stick 4K plugged into this LG television. This is a 24-inch television and it's only 1080p. But, you know, it's a reminder that this can be used in older televisions and it can transform an older 720p or 1080p television and make it, you know, usable. Again, maybe you've got an older television just hooked to a DVD player just now, but now you can play Netflix and Amazon to it. And should you get a 4K television in the future, you can use the Fire Stick 4K with that as well. It's just as responsive as it was before. And I want to show you something, because when I hooked this up to the monitor, I couldn't really set it up with the volume, etc., because my monitor isn't really set up as a television. But I can still use it here, but right now the volume control isn't working, which makes sense because I've synced it to a monitor and not a television. But you can see here there's an option to change the television, and hopefully I'm doing this from the side okay. And I can go through the setup process. Now, I didn't record the setup process for you guys earlier on. We detected your LG television, is this correct? Yes, it is. And this is going to detect the television and allow me to do the volume control. But yeah, press power on your Fire TV to turn off your TV. Wait 10 seconds. Okay. So it's got really good support for things like this. So, you know, this television is probably like 5 or 6 years old. Yes, it did. See, now it's got the audio again. Volume up and down. Can you see that? So this is an older television, but as you can see through this whole setup process, I was able to turn it off using the power button here, and I can now put the volume up and down. I no longer have to use my LG remote. And for me, it sounds such a small thing, but it saves me from lying in bed using 2 remotes. I can turn my television on and off using this, and I can control the volume. So yes, it works. It's been updated, and now I can control the volume here. It works really well. And, you know, I couldn't show you that before because it was attached to the monitor and not a television. But that's another really cool feature about this remote. And I know this is a common feature. I do realise that most streaming devices will do that. But it's a simple thing, but it's a really cool thing. I don't need 2 remotes now. I can use this remote to power this television up and use it with my Fire Stick TV. Now, I will be using it with this television a lot, but I can take it downstairs as well. And that's another cool thing about this, is that you're not tied to one device. It's not like setting up something on a tablet or one television. I can take this out and attach it to my television downstairs, and I can get that 4K content, and then I can bring it upstairs and just attach it to this television. It's very easy to use. So yeah, overall, I'm very, very impressed. I'm really, really pleased with the purchase. And in hindsight, I really should have bought this about 3 months ago. I think that if you're looking at the Fire Stick 4K, I think this is the one to buy. I really do think this is a better buy than the 1080p version. For an extra £10, you're going to get that faster processor, and you're future-proofing yourself, you know, when you do buy a 4K television. And when you do connect this to a 4K television, you do get 4K content and all these other features. But as I said, this can transform an older television like this and make it usable again. This has sat here for a long time and just gathered dust, and now I can use it again, and, you know, I'll be using it a lot. All in all, I think for £50 in the UK, this is a fantastic buy. And if you're watching this in the future, Black Friday or one of the Amazon deal days, you might find this at 40 or even, you know, cheaper than that. And I think for the functionality that this offers, it's really, really good. There are, of course, alternatives, and I talked about a few of these at the start. I did consider buying a Chromecast, but the Chromecast relies on me using a device to do everything and then casting it towards the television. I can't manage things with the remote. And I was looking really more for the TV experience more than anything else. But I am a big YouTube fan. I'm a bit of a YouTube junkie. The fact that the YouTube app can't be natively used on this is a little bit of an annoyance for me. And the fact that you need to install all these casting apps and streaming apps to get the content you want onto the Fire Stick is a little bit annoying as well. But it is there, and you can use it. you know. But for the way that I'm using this, I will be using it mostly for Amazon, mostly for Netflix. But in the future, maybe I will install different apps and get YouTube or, you know, stream to the Fire Stick. And maybe I'll attach a Bluetooth gaming controller or something and maybe start playing games on this as well. I do have that potential. I do have that option of doing that. I think for such a small device, it really is impressive. It's a cheap buy, and I can understand why so many people buy this. It's fantastic. It's very versatile, and I think it's a really good price. There are many alternatives out there though, guys. So if you are looking at, you know, even considering buying a Fire Stick, have a look at the Chromecast, have a look at some of the Roku devices, have a look at some of their alternatives as well. If you get more money, you might be tied into the Apple ecosystem. Maybe you want to get Apple TV instead. But I think that for most people, this is the streaming device to buy. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so please do leave a comment below. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Take care.